All right, so this is just a little helpful tips if you're working on this Google Slides and you're struggling with how to answer some of these questions. So for this first one here, you're just going to simply drag over the true/false answers and drop those down here. So in this case, I'm not even really looking at it, but let's see. Similar figures are the same shape and same size. Not always the case. They can be bigger or smaller, so drop those over. I'd say false for that first one. Drop it in there. Anytime you edit anything on this document, it should save it automatically, and then I can look and see it through Schoology, so you don't have to worry about submitting or sharing or anything. It should just automatically populate on there. If that's not the case, I'll let you know if you need to share it with me at the end of everything, but it should be there automatically. So this first slide is going through true, false, dropping it. If you think it's true, right, you drop one down here, and those sorts of things, going through those for all 5 of those. Next one here, you're trying to find the scale factor. So I would do, I'd say, I'd type in here, what do you think that is? I would look at the second shape divided by the first shape. So in this case, 10 divided by 4, that would reduce down to 5/2 should be our scale factor. And you could test that out by multiplying 5 by 5/2, and you'd get 12.5 as well with that. So it should be consistent for each kind of multiplying back and forth. Over here, same deal. We got, looks like B is 24 and 12 over here, and then I got B prime is 18 and 9. So take 18 divided by 24, that would reduce down to be 3/4. So my scale factor is 3/4. Going through there, and so you're doing that same concept, going through, just make sure you reduce down on those as well. And it looks like the last one should be bigger. So the only thing it should have like a bigger one from there is the last one. The other one should be smaller as well, getting smaller. All right, continuing on here. Now I'm looking at writing the ratios with the x coordinates. So you may have to zoom in here, kind of count as you're going through. A prime would be, looks like 0.43, I believe. So I'll type in my first one. I'll say 4. And then A would be over here, looks like at 8. So I got 4/8. Now to see if these are actually similar, you're going to have to figure out, all right, is every proportion 1/2, right? Is everything going to match up to 1/2? Let's try the next one. B prime looks like it'd go to -4 for B prime. Type in -4 for B. I'd say looks like -8. All right, so we're good. That's also going to be another 1/2. And then C prime, the x coordinate, looks like it's right on the y-axis. So I'd say 0 for C prime, and then also say 0 for C. So you see, that's kind of what you're going through. You'll do the same thing with the y coordinates for each of those, and then you'll write down what you notice with the ratios, and what does that indicate. Let's see. Going on, continuing on from there, we'd say we have, what do you know about the triangles and angles? Well, this is pretty self-explanatory. The answer key, you can look through those and see if it makes sense. If not, email me on that one. This one might be a little different. All you're really doing is labeling the original vertices and the new vertices, and then how you got there. So like you have to multiply by some scale factor to get there. So for J, looks like I got, oh man, it's hard to see. It's like 6, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 6/4 would be J. So I'd come in here and I'd type 6, 4. And if my new vertices, I'd go over here and I'd say, looks like 9, 9, 6. Okay, so now with this, we've multiplied by something to get each of these points. So what I would do is I would do 9/6. So I'm going to maybe get a new thing to write on here. So I'd say I'd use the x coordinates. So 6 and 9. So I'd say 9/6 is my scale factor. That reduces down to 3/2 or 1.5. So I'm multiplying by 1.5 for each one of these. So my scale factor is, in fact, 1.5. So then I would type in here 1.5 times x. And then I believe it's going to be the same. It should theoretically be the same for the y's as well. But just to make sure, the y's, we'd have 4 right here for my j, and j prime we had 6. So 4 over 6, that would be, let's see, I did it opposite, sorry, other way around. 6 over 4 would give me 3 over 2 as well, or 1.5. So, all right, so that we see we're multiplying by 1.5 for both of those. So that's my scale factor. So then I would go through and I'd put 1.5 times x, 1.5 times y, and then going through each of those and making sure they're all doing that as well. Let's see. You're going to do the same thing on this one as you did on the last slide. You just got a triangle, and you'll have to say what you multiply by as well to get that dilation. For here, we got the area of a perimeter. So you got to add up, how many units around. You'll need to figure out how far each rectangle is, and then add those up. Scale from there. Here, circumference. If you don't remember circumference, an area of a circle, it's tiny right there, but it's 2 pi r, or pi times my diameter. So like, for instance, I'll do an example here. We'll say for the scale factor is 4. When dilating, what's the new circumference? So that would mean my radius has gone up by 4. It's multiplied by 4, so I'd have 32 would be my new radius of a circle, right? It'd be 4 times as big. That's not 4 times as big, but you get the idea. And so then you'd use for circumference 2 pi r, so you'd say 2 pi times that 32. And then for area, you'd say pi 32 squared, right? And you'd plug that in from there, get those two answers. All right, and I think this one's similar to the other ones. And I'm gonna stop there and let you kind of go to the answer key if you have any other questions. And if you have anything else you need help with, just email me, let me know.